If you went fishing in the St. Louis River this past summer, then you know what they're talking about. Anglers say every second or sometimes even every fish they're reeling in these days from the river is a rough fish. The small European perch has recently moved into the Duluth Harbor at the western end of Lake Superior. The experts estimate there are about 2 million of them out there. They say it has become the single most abundant of over 60 fish species found in the harbor and is causing a dramatic decline among other fish species.
Once the animal gets established, what we can do may be very limited. Apparently, it is a very difficult organism to deal with.
Meeting organizers felt a real sense of frustration at today's session from people who feel some action must be taken soon to stop the spread of the rough fish and other exotic species like the zebra mussel.
But I think it's real important that we get started on trying to reduce the risk and deal with the problem. Otherwise, it's going to be much worse than it would be otherwise.
But the experts urged patience and caution in moving too quickly to intervene with nature.
So we need to make sure that what we do to attempt to control them is not going to be more damaging than the actual fish itself.
In 1990, in response to these rapidly spreading threats, including the zebra mussel, Congress passed an act to prevent the spread of the exotic aquatics, discover what's currently out there and monitor it, and finally, control it. Today's meeting is part of that effort to gain and share information. The final in the series of meetings will be held next week in New York. After that, an updated study will be presented to Congress with some suggestions for action. In Duluth, Barbara Riles, News 6.
It's the kind of work that takes time and patience. And just like his teacher, Old Man Iverson, Tom Nelson has plenty of both.
I learned it, I suppose, the hard way, watching Old Man Iverson when I was a little kid over in Munising, or in Shingleton, Michigan. And from there on, it was just, nobody taught me. I just studied old tub snowshoes and practice.
Tom's known to most of his friends and customers as Old Spyglass, and so are his snowshoes, which come in various shapes and sizes, all of them handcrafted, carrying Nelson's experienced personal touch.
I worked for Lake Superior Power Company for 19 years, most of which were on these long cross-country transmission line surveys, right through the boonies. So we were on these tennis rackets all day, every day, 5 days a week. So you do get kind of opinionated as what's a good shoe and what isn't.
Tom's made himself a few pair of snowshoes over the years, but it seems like he always sells them before he can ever wear them. He does have a pair of Old Faithfuls, these 1939 Tubbs Yukons.
Bought that from Garnish Hardware in 1938 or 39, I'm not sure which. And the pair of shoes and the bindings, $13.50. And I've used them every year from then on, every day, all day long out there in the boondocks. Been a damn good shoe.
An Old Spyglass should know. After all, he's made a few hundred pair of his own snowshoes over the years as well. In Ashland, I'm Mike Birkland, outdoors in the Northland.
It is a recognition of the dedication of this department and their professionals in preparing themselves for such spills, and the state has high confidence in the ability that it will provide top-notch quality response assistance in the event of a spill.
During last June's benzene spill in Superior's Nemadji River, emergency crews were forced to wait before entering the spill site until protective gear arrived from out of town. Delays of this sort could prove costly if another emergency involving a hazardous chemical were to occur in this area. Today, the state of Wisconsin announced that Superior will be getting $1.5 million over the next 3 years to help improve their hazardous material response team. The money received by the state will be a welcome addition.
Protection that we have not had in the past, but we very drastically needed. And I think, it's been a long time coming.
Superior was one of 7 areas to receive money from the state. It's part of the State Hazardous Material Transportation Safety Act. In January, $579,000 will be available statewide, with $2.3 million more coming July 1st. The money is raised through taxes put on hazardous transportation users. State Senator Bob Jauch was involved in the development of the act and says Superior was an easy choice for state aid.
It is a recognition of the dedication of this department and their professionals in preparing themselves for such spills, and the state has high confidence in the ability that it will provide top-notch quality response assistance in the event of a spill.
In Superior, Ted Rowlands, News 6.
To ensure that every citizen in the state is adequately covered. So I congratulate Steve.
Stop the cruelty. Don't wear fur. Stop. Don't wear fur. Stop.
We hope to raise awareness. We don't want to tell anyone that they're what to wear, that they're wrong for what they're wearing. We just want people to think. We want people to look at us and say, maybe I shouldn't buy fur.
You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
They're smiling for the camera with his reindeer and cozying up to the old man himself.
Today, children everywhere are making preparations for an event of world-shaking significance.
Tell me, do you believe in Santa Claus?
Yes.
How come?
Because I saw him come down came into the door of my brother was grandma's.
Did he really?
Uh-huh.
Did you say anything to him?
Yeah, I gave him a hug. And if you leave cookies and milk out for him, he'll eat them and then he'll fill your stockings. His elves make toys for us, and he delivers them to our house on Christmas night.
Oh, I've got lots of letters for Santa today. And every year they're the same. Some ask for toys.
My toy house, and some candy, and a toy house.
As for us big kids, well, I'm one of those that think if you believe, you shall receive. So Santa, what I'd like for Christmas is one of those red Honda Preludes. And if you could talk to my boss, I'd really like a big raise this year.
And remember, behave yourselves, because Santa can still look into his magic snowball and see just what you're up to.
In Duluth, Heather Filkins, News 6.
Henry 545 271 60.
10 4 10 45 2702. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, $240 out of anybody's pocket at the holiday time it's a good amount of money that you could have used for your holiday travel plans or Christmas gifts.
we have a situation that nobody takes control of the meeting, and the person who is supposed to take control of the meeting will not take control of the meeting because, in fact, orchestrates some of the circus atmosphere.
Did you find out about it?
I was bringing my little boy out to my mom and dad's because they were going to put the Christmas tree up today, and my mom says, your house is on fire.
When Deborah Hansey returned home, she saw firefighters trying to save her second-floor apartment, but the electrical fire had spread quickly, leaving little behind.
I've never been involved in a fire before. It's kind of something you don't think that's going to happen to you. You know, it's like you see it on TV all the time, and you think, wow, you know, that's too bad for those people, and you never think it's going to happen to you, you know. I lost all my Christmas presents. Everything that I had bought for everybody is gone. And
Miraculously, no one was injured in the blaze, but it will take the family time to rebuild their lives. As one family friend put it, some days you think things are going your way, and the next, who knows?
Deborah and her 3 children will stay with her parents for a while. She says despite having to start over, she is thankful the family is still together for the holidays. In Duluth, Derek Hines, News 6.
Go ahead, this is 20.
Mornings and the evenings, people go out and warm them up.
Today is Dale Erickson's last day on the job at the Duluth Police Department. He, along with 6 other officers, are hanging up their badges this year, one of the largest groups to leave at one time.
For me, anyway, it's going to be a tough job to walk out that door on my last day and think about not coming back.
Together, these men have put in nearly 200 years on the force. They were hired in the late 50s and early 60s, all in search of secure, good-paying jobs. They found that and a whole lot more.
I've looked at the job with pride. I was always proud to say I was a police officer.
As rookies, the men use their street smarts to advance in their careers. Now sergeants, an investigator, and deputy chief, the many awards among them show just how successful they've become. Looking back, however, they say the job was much simpler in the beginning.
And it's changed dramatically. It's more of a finesse type job now, where police officers maybe have to use their brains more than brawn, like we did years ago.
And now I think that there isn't a week that goes by, maybe every couple of days, that there's a gun call. There's a lot of guns out there, and there's a lot of violence and a lot of violent people, and I think that that scares me for the new people coming on. And
2 weeks ago, on a late watch, I was walking down an alley in the West End with my gun in my hand looking for a guy with a shotgun. I won't miss that kind of thing anymore. I'll leave it to the young guys to take care of.
All agree the retirement of these 7 men will leave a void, but the administration is confident the new recruits coming on in February will grow into their shoes.
It's tough to lose them. It's a real blow to our police department. But we've got people that have been coming up and who now have to take the leadership roles.
Or you have good feelings about how the job will be handled after we leave. And maybe it's good that you occasionally get a turnover in the department to get some new ideas.
But Deputy Chief Gene Sisto has some advice for the rookies.
The job's a serious job, but you got to be able to reflect back and find some humor in different things, and that helps, at least for me, relieve the stress.
As retirement fast approaches, the men admit they have mixed feelings about their last day, but all agree they'll be leaving behind a piece of history that can never be duplicated. In Duluth, Amy Rutledge, News 6.
You came in last place in a curling tournament. So.
Oh, I like this.
An extreme case of cold weather causing damage to a home. This fire in Hermantown last night was caused by frozen water pipes. The mobile home's owner was trying to thaw the pipes with a blowtorch when the insulation started on fire. But frozen pipes can do other kinds of damage. Area plumbers have horror stories of frozen pipes that have burst and damaged homes beyond repair.
The reason that they break this time of year is because the boiler is being worked harder in cold weather. So if you have any weak points at all in the system, they're more likely to break down this time of year.
Preventative measures are the key to maintaining water lines in cold weather. An easy solution is to keep a trickle of water running.
Find that with the faucet in the running position, the moving water won't freeze as quick as standing water. So if we can keep that water moving, it won't have a chance to freeze as easily.
Another piece of advice is to leave your thermostat at a normal level. Turning it down to try to save energy could cost you your furnace.
I definitely leave it up there between even 68 and 70 on these extreme cold nights. For the money that it'll save you if something would happen or if you would break a pipe, the damage is just phenomenal most of the time.
Professional plumbers have safe techniques for thawing pipes and preventing breaks. The bottom line is to remember to keep an eye on your pipes when the temperatures drop below zero. And if they do freeze, don't take matters into your own hands. In Duluth, Derek Hines, News 6.
Oh, the volunteers. Oh, it's a highlight of the year. And we usually have more volunteers than we know what to do with them.
The Setram family is counting their blessings this Christmas. Thanks to the quick thinking of Sister Holly, Brother John and herself escaped what could have been a deadly blaze.
The rug started on fire that I was standing on, so I ran back in my bedroom, and then I woke up my brother, and my door started on fire. So I started looking around for things to open or break the window, and after a couple minutes, I got the window open, and I jumped out and I started screaming my brother's name, and he jumped out after me.
Just surprising how fast she can think and everything and just come out with that kind of idea. Just can't believe it. I'd like to thank my sister especially and our ambulance drivers and fire department for helping us out.
And no one could have been more proud or thankful than Holly and John's parents.
I guess I'm just amazed that they remembered what they were taught about fires. Their dad worked with them on it, but I'm surprised that she stayed so calm and just remembered how to do everything. I'm proud of them both, and I'm so happy that they're okay.
Kim Setram took his son John to inspect the charred remains of their mobile home today. Tragically, all of their belongings, including Christmas presents, went up in flames. Janine Johnson, News 6.